Well, Epic Games has continued to make some really bad decisions, but luckily for me, being a founder's owner for Save the World, it usually whatever bad decision they seem to make softens the blow. For those of you that know, they adjusted how much you get buying V Bucks going forward. How before it used to be like $8.99, you get 1,000. Now it's $8.99, you get 800. And from the little thing that they were going with, which pretty much $8.99 used to get you 1,000 V Bucks, now it gets you 800. $22.99 will get you 2,800. Now you get 2,400. And it kind of entices you to try to do it through their Epic Rewards thing. So buying it directly through Epic themselves, as they give you some cash back to the next time you buy more V Bucks through them, it lowers the price. I don't know if this is just like, because their reasoning for doing this in the first place was just that they had to adjust the cost of V Bucks to pay the bills because the cost of this game has gotten so high. I honestly thought that's what the whole point of the skins was, because if you're messing with the V Bucks that people have to buy in the first place, then in a sense you're gonna start, getting them not spending as much in the long run. Because I've seen people already canceling, which another thing too, the Fortnite crew thing. That also gives you less. It used to give you 1,000 V Bucks per month that you had it. Now it gives you 800. And like another way to soften, this whole news, whatchamacallit, they also made it that you have to that moving forward the battle passes are 800, but we don't know for sure if it's only the battle pass getting 800. Meanwhile, the other bundles that they're going to be releasing later on this year, if they're just going to be regular price, where some of them are like 2,000. Now you got to spend basically almost double in a sense just to get just the right amount of V Bucks. Before it used to be buying two $9 ones to get 2,000 V Bucks. Doing it now, you'll just get 1,600 and probably do the exact amount thing for the rest. But in a way, you're spending slightly more now just to get the skin you want if they don't adjust the bundles moving forward. Again, for what for me in general, it just mostly means moving forward. Considering like the battle pass or anything like that, if I decide to actually buy V Bucks, it's more or less I just have to do 2 extra dailies, which again we don't know for sure, because there's also the news about how Save the World is going to be free in April 16th on the next update. I don't know if they're going to be adjusting, because originally there used to be like this login reward where you just logged in, and then after like a certain amount of logins in a row, you would get like 500, 400, or almost like 1,000 V Bucks. They changed it into dailies, where now you have to actually do little missions in game to get 100 or 150 per day, and they stack up to 3, by the way. But there's also missions where the one that you're seeing footage of now, just and it's rare too. They're like the ones that spawns the boss for finishing it, but they'll give you an extra 50 V Bucks on top of the daily. So like I said, Save the World seems to be the one investment that does soften the blow with the news. But I know for those that don't have it, I guess it's just going to make it more like basically less enticing to buy skins moving forward, unless you really want that skin. But in the long run, it's going to basically make you spend slightly more if you just decide to go through anywhere that isn't through Epic themselves. But again, this was just some news that just kind of came out of nowhere, because and in my honest opinion, I feel like this is like maybe a rough take coming from me. But if Epic is financially struggling, which is kind of weird to say when they're renting out the Unreal Engine to who knows how many game companies making games these days, but if they're financially struggling to pay Fortnite, I think instead of taking it out on the consumer, they need to take it out on the people making those those custom Fortnite game modes, the ones that have like Steal the Brain Rot and all those other stuff. If they're struggling to pay them, maybe it's a point now where instead of paying them with money, or still keep paying them but at a lower rate to cover the cost. Because I mean, there comes a point where some of those games they're just gonna start copying each other, and then it's if what's it called? What's that word? I don't know, something like diluting, but it dilutes the whole, or something like that. But it basically just adds so many game modes, and if even one of them starts doing popular, that person that made it has to get paid, and then someone else makes something similar. Now that person has to. You see how it's kind of an issue. If it really is a financial thing with Epic, they're the ones in charge of that program. They're gonna have to just make. It's gonna suck, and I know some people are gonna be deterred from making new modes, but anything that it may like basically go through affecting the people making maps first, lowering their pace slightly, because the last thing you want to do is affect the people that have been buying the currency in the first place. Because I mean, like I said, people are canceling their Fortnite crew. People are even going as far as uninstalling Fortnite and even setting up a protest of not playing when the new season comes out. And all this could have been avoided had they done anything else besides affect the V-Buck cost that has been roughly the same for who knows how long. Again, it's a virtual currency. I doesn't really make much sense to be, changing a Fortnite currency to make it worth less than it was before, when they're the ones that set the price, the how much it actually was worth. Because now suddenly it doesn't make sense that a skin is worth 2,000 V-Bucks, $20, but yet buying the V-Bucks to it regularly is almost the same as spending almost like 22, 23, like an extra couple dollars. Like, they either have to adjust the bundles as well, but I don't know. Like I said, in a way, I'm kind of thankful that I managed to get this investment, because it seems like Epic just loves to make bad decisions, and who knows how long before they start affecting the game overall player base wise, because they just, I don't know, they're just making dumb decisions. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment what your thoughts about this whole Fortnite Fortnite V-Bucks situation, and yeah, feel free to follow my Twitch as well. You can also join my Discord if any of you want to game any other games. I'm playing currently Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, Fortnite, Dark Tide, and many other games, so feel free to join. Anyways, that about does it for the video, and until next time, I'll see you later, everyone.